Welcome to News Today with WW News Today. I'm Tom Corliss. Here now the news for March 12, 2019. After years of announcements and months of close anticipation of the official opening dates for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at both Disneyland and Walt Disney World were finally announced last week during the Walt Disney Company annual meeting of shareholders. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland Park at the Disneyland Resort will officially open on May 31st, 2019, and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disney's Hollywood Studios at the Walt Disney World Resort will officially open on August 29th, 2019. That's earlier than anticipated or scheduled, apparently, originally. It's worth noting that the openings will happen in two phases. This is part of why that early opening is happening, and that Rise of the Resistance will not be ready for Rebel boarding at the time of the land's openings on May 31st or August 29th for that matter. On opening day for Phase 1, you'll be able to live your own Star Wars story and take the controls of the most famous ship in the galaxy aboard Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, sample the amazing galactic food and beverages, and explore an intriguing collection of merchant shops and more. So Phase 1 is everything but Rise of the Resistance, just to be clear with everyone. Guests planning to visit Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland Park between May 31st and June 23rd will need valid theme park admission and will also be required to make a no-cost reservation, subject to availability to access the land. Information on how to make a reservation will be available at a later date on Disneyland.com. Guests staying at one of the 3 Disneyland Resort hotels during these dates will receive a designated reservation to access Galaxy's Edge during their stay, and that's 1 reservation per registered guest. Valid theme park admission still required in that situation. A reservation will not be offered or required to experience Galaxy's Edge at the Walt Disney World Resort, and you should know that valid theme park admission to Hollywood Studios is required there as well. What a surprise. Disney is saying capacity is limited on both lands. Additionally, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge will be open during extra magic hours at Walt Disney World. During extra magic hours, guests staying at select Walt Disney World Resort hotels can spend extra time at Disney's Hollywood Studios enjoying select attractions, and details on that will be available at a later date on DisneyWorld.com. On top of all this, Disney also unveiled the height requirements for both attractions and some important FastPass information for the land. At Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, guests must be 38 inches or taller to ride, and once it opens, the height requirement for Rise of the Resistance will be 40 inches or taller, as we of course told you several weeks ago. Disney FastPass service, including access via Disney Max Pass at the Disneyland Resort and the Disney FastPass Plus service at Hollywood Studios, will not be initially offered at either Smuggler's Run or Rise of the Resistance for an undisclosed period. Might want to go back to that paid FastPass story, maybe. Who knows what's going to happen there. We have no other word otherwise, but something fishy with that one, right? But it is worth noting that the Disability Access Service will be admitted, because it has to be, for those attractions when they open, and as well VIP tours, which often allow you to skip the line with a VIP tour guide, will have that capability when Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opens, despite the lack of FastPass. In light of the opening date announcement, Disney snuck in some brand new concept art into listings for certain merchandise and dining locations for Galaxy's Edge. At this restaurant housed in a working hangar bay, you can choose from a variety of dishes prepared with ingredients from across the galaxy, all of it delicious but none familiar. And Chef Strono Cookie Tugs has docked a fruit freighter loaded with fresh supplies, and he's ready to satisfy the appetites of visitors and locals alike with an array of exotic offerings. His planet-hopping travels allow him to prepare fare with unusual flavors and that delight customers. And once you've got your grub at Docking Bay 7, you can sit inside the spacious hangar or grab a table in the rustic outdoor seating area surrounded by crumbling walls of an old marketplace. And you can quench your thirst with a cup of Batu's legendary blue or green treat, served frozen opening May 1st, 2019. No visit to Galaxy's Edge will be complete without a frosty confection from the milk stand, which you're seeing now. The vendors at this quirky stall offer travelers an invigorating, refreshing drink that's a favorite among the locals. Luke Skywalker can be seen enjoying blue milk, of course, in Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, and green milk in Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Thirsty visitors can now try both of these when the land opens. Meanwhile, at the creature stall, you're free to explore as you peek into cages and crates filled with hard-to-find species from across the galaxy. Bina, the stall's proprietor, scours star systems to keep the storefront stocked with unique companions for her customers. You'll marvel at the large collection of cackling Kowakian monkey lizards, the rambunctious pets popular with shadowy underworld figures, including the Hutts. Most of the creatures here are available for purchase, although restrictions may apply to Rathars. Yeah. That's enough of Star Wars for today, I think. Some interesting Walt Disney World theme park ticket price increases have gone into effect beginning today. Disney has altered some of the existing prices in their date-based tickets and pricing model, which helps them spread attendance throughout the year. With this in mind, some busier holiday weeks are now more expensive, but the cheapest one-day tickets remain at the starting price of $109, although those days are few and far between, it's worth mentioning. For example, a one-day ticket during Christmas week in a peak period is now $159 in 2019. That's a new all-time one-day ticket high versus $129, which it was in 2018, a 23% price increase. Tickets around Easter, Memorial Day, and before Christmas cost $139 for a single-day ticket by comparison. The increases obviously affect most multi-day tickets, but not at such a high price increase percentage. For example, a 4-day base theme park ticket starting on July 4th will now cost $9 more per day compared to previous pricing. Meanwhile, Park Hopper upgrades to one-day and multi-day tickets have also increased $5 across the board. Park Hopper Plus pricing hasn't changed. It's worth mentioning that there's still plenty of special ticket offers out there. Don't forget about the 4-park Magic tickets and Florida resident Discover Disney tickets. Disney would like us to remind you of those as they raise ticket prices. The Disney Water Park annual pass has gone up in price from $130 to $139, but meanwhile other annual passes have not changed. You'll be happy to know many of you. Standard parking remains unchanged as well, but preferred parking is now broken up into tiers, which somehow doesn't include a price increase, surprisingly. Preferred parking in the regular season is now $45, while peak preferred parking is $50 a day. Before this change, every day preferred parking was $50. I guess maybe they're not seeing a lot of sales on those less busy days, which does make some sense. You probably are parking closer when it's not as busy. Project Gamma is about to get underway at Epcot, a project that will include the reimagining of the center of Future World, the park's entrance, and a rumored multi-year refurbishment of Spaceship Earth. The first permits for the project have been filed, likely coinciding with the imminent closure of Innoventions West and the overhaul of the park's entry plaza. The permits refer to Project G, which, by the way, is short for Project Gamma, as you may have guessed. The permits also cite Innoventions East in name, but that's likely based on the close proximity of all these structures and such. Regardless of what the permit may actually pertain to specifically, we here at WWNT have learned that Innoventions West, those buildings that make up Innoventions West, will be demolished in the not-too-distant future. The Epcot Character Spot, the Fountain View Starbucks, and Club Cool will all close before this happens sometime in the next year. Most of the Character Spot meet and greets are rumored to relocate to Imageworks, where they will join Wreck-It Ralph and Vanellope. Specifically, we think that's going to be the Baymax and the Inside Out meet and greets. We're not sure where Mickey and Pals are going yet. Meanwhile, Starbucks is rumored to take up the food service side of the upcoming Epcot Experience Center temporarily, otherwise known as the Odyssey between Future World and World Showcase. It will not be their permanent home, though. They'll have a new home after that. Most of Innoventions East is now expected to stay through the completion of Project Gamma, leaving Mouse Gear and the Electric Umbrella buildings in operation. Mouse Gear is slated for a major overhaul before Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary in 2021. It, however, remains unclear how much will change at the Electric Umbrella during the course of this project. As for what will be replacing Innoventions West, that remains unclear at this time. We'll let you know soon. Wink, nudge. I'm so mean. The Disney Pixar's Coco show made its big debut at the Mexico Pavilion in Epcot, courtesy of the amazing Mariachi Cobre. The immensely talented musicians of the Mariachi Cobre are joined by a pair of folklorico, traditional Mexican folk dancers, to tell the tale of Miguel Rivera, his love of music, and his journey to find what matters most, his familia. The dancers perform to the music of the film, pulling everyone into the celebration, and Miguel himself appears in the form of a whimsical, handcrafted puppet. You can watch the full Coco Mariachi Cobre show here on our YouTube channel. This new Coco-inspired show expands the repertoire of the Mariachi Cobre, who will also continue enchanting guests at the Mexico Pavilion with performances of their traditional mariachi music. You can catch Mariachi Cobre Presents The Story of Coco at 11:45, 12:15, 1, 4:15, and 5 p.m. daily, although I think they actually already altered that to earlier times thanks to some bottlenecking in the area. So check a times guide. If you're in the mood for even more Mexican traditional music, you can check out the normal Mariachi Cobre shows as well. The Epcot International Flower and Garden Festival has indeed begun, and rather than try to read you all about the merchandise and food and beverage offerings and topiaries, you can head on over to wwnt.garden and read every booth review, find out about the merchandise, and also download our absolutely free PDF guide to this year's event, which runs through June 3rd, 2019. And of course, you can read all about how to get your Orange Bird sipper cup. Maybe you can buy 5 of them. Who knows? Buy all sorts of numbers of these, depending on the day and what the limits are. But yeah, make sure you get that free PDF. It has absolutely everything you need to know for the festival. A lot of people put a lot of hours into that, and I think it's a really great tool for everyone to use. So go check out wwnt.garden. Even if you don't want the PDF, lots of great information there, and we have reviewed every item painstakingly at those outdoor marketplaces, so check it out. With big plans for the upcoming Play Pavilion announced, Disney has officially closed the Wonders of Life complex and began preparing it for its massive overhaul. The upcoming new space will be devoted to the playful fun and feature an innovative city that'll come to life under the dome of the unnamed pavilion previously known as Wonders of Life. We sent out a reporter last week to check out the status of the building now that it is in an active construction zone. Currently, there's not much to see, though. All that blocks the path are some ropes. But the area is now restricted to construction crews only, so no cast members are allowed to cut through backstage here at the pavilion. Newer guests may recognize the former Wonders of Life complex as the Festival Center. It was last used during the 2018 Food and Wine Festival, but has been closed ever since and should not be used for such in the future now. It is now full speed towards the Play Pavilion, which will open supposedly in 2021. After 2 years in the works, Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy is set to open on March 31st at Hollywood Studios. We now have some rendered 3D photos that give us an idea of what the inside of the theater will look like. Sunset Showcase Theater looks pretty different in there now based on what you're seeing. 200-foot wide screen will surround the audience, completely immersing them in the experience. And Imagineers use pre-visualization software to make sure each seat in the audience gets the same spectacular experience. Lightning McQueen will be the star of the show, where he can interact with guests, and Imagineers worked alongside Pixar to keep the world of Cars intact. His front and center platform should make for a fun and memorable show. Again, March 31st, the official debut. As we previously reported, automated PhotoPass cameras are being installed at select Walt Disney World meet and greet locations. These automated cameras will take your picture instead of a PhotoPass photographer once they're activated. The camera will be positioned in the room to take photos throughout the duration of the interaction with the characters. We, of course, recently showed you the cameras installed at the Town Square Theater meet and greet with Tinkerbell and Pixie Hollow, but they're now installed at Star Wars Launch Bay at Disney's Hollywood Studios, where they're a little more well hidden. Here's the camera box in the Chewbacca meet and greet, and you can see here Chewie was checking it out while we were taking pictures of it. Meanwhile, the camera box in the Kylo Ren meet and greet looks right at home on an Imperial or First Order vessel. No start date is set for when the cameras will go into use for guests just yet. Reservations are now open for rentals of the new poolside cabanas at Disney's Yacht and Beach Club Resort, where guests can indulge in the lap of luxury. These private hideaways exclusive to Yacht and Beach Club Resort guests provide them with a number of services, including padded furniture, chairs and a couch, dedicated Disney cast member service, cocktail service, mounted television with cable access, complimentary sunscreen and other skincare products, a mini refrigerator stocked with complimentary soda and water. Is it really complimentary if you bought the cabana? A complimentary fruit tray, plush towels, lockable cabinet, charging outlets for mobile devices, and more. These new cabanas are exclusive again to guests at the resorts, and reservations for half and full day rentals are now open for dates beginning March 17th, and you can call 407-WW-PLAY to book those. Half day rentals start at $149, full day rentals $249. Walt Disney World Resort hotels will soon begin offering direct bus service to the Disney water parks. Starting Sunday, March 17th, buses to Disney's Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon will adjust to a new dedicated bus service. Buses will have a dedicated bus stop for each resort at the front of each water park, as opposed to a shared bus as it was done in the past. Guests wishing to transfer from a theme park to a water park will need to board a bus to the closest resort and transfer to a water park bus. As with all other parks, guests will be able to use My Disney Experience app to track bus arrivals and routes across property. Avast and shiver me timbers! Captain Hook and his crew are docking for a new kids club experience fittingly named Captain Hook's Pirate Crew at Disney's Beach Club Resort starting April 28th. Guests ages 4 to 12 will enjoy a treasure hunt as they sail around Crescent Lake. They'll also meet Captain Hook himself as they learn a secret pirate handshake. Oh boy. They'll also enjoy a dinner fit for a buccaneer on their adventure. The experience will be replacing the Pixar Play Zone at Disney's Contemporary Resort, which closes on March 30th, 2019. As for the days in between, well, you're on your own. The package costs $55 per child and lasts from 5 to 8:30 p.m. It's an event for children only, adults and Peter Pan not allowed. He's a kid at heart. It's not fair. Guests can call 407-824-5437 to book their place on this nautical voyage. Just in time for International Women's Day, Capt.Marvel made her big debut at Disney California Adventure with a shiny new meet and greet, although her jet wasn't quite ready, or Hangar 12, but nonetheless, guests lined out the door to meet the latest superhero to join the Marvel Cinematic Universe. While we expected Hangar 12 to be finished in time, it wasn't, but it is worth noting that meet and greet is now fully operational now. But at the time, it was using the backside of the Hollywood Lounge refreshment stand in Hollywoodland. Yeah, so that's the thing. But nonetheless, you can now meet Capt.Marvel daily at Disney California Adventure. And don't miss all of the other International Women's Day videos here on our channel, including the first ever all-green Army Woman show in Toy Story Land, the Sisters Soiree dance party at the Magic Kingdom, and much more. All of that right here on our YouTube channel. For more information on these stories and more, head on over to WDWNT.com. And if you're enjoying the show, be sure to like this video, subscribe to WDW News Today on YouTube for more great content, and click the bell for notifications. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Tom Corliss saying enjoy the rest of your today, and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. And on a separate note, I want to apologize for how infrequent the show has been. We've been busy and traveling and a lot of things, and I know even we missed Monday. But we're going to get back on schedule here, so expect another show on Wednesday as well. But anyway, have that great, big, beautiful tomorrow. We'll see you then.